saying
no,
that.
she actually said that
that is her administrative right, and I will not fault her. But it was the basis for Daniel Ofori's petition.
Ebusanfo, we Ghana TVG, transfer, like, comment, subscribe. There is no notification. So Ebusanfo, we are receiving more updates about Yemami get retoken on dismissal. No, Ebusanfo, as I said, I said no. Yes, rekeke. Yes, now before me to us, no. Remember disclaimer. Say disclaimer. We a very strong one. Now, Yemina maker. One by share video now you will infer for yourselves, but I mean, where the micro market, domain market, and market women they discuss and you discussing me so me fast and I'm be catching the disclaimer no. Yeah, to family court by Busan for a serious. Busan for munum see. According to sources, I mean allegations, no. Mami get rid tokono, I Chief Justice. Any petitioner. Bakwa friend Daniel Ofori no. Sana, I mean, history wo muntem. Trese, ebano your judicial system. They are almost like at judicial loggerheads. Judicial loggerheads. Trese, I mean, according to sources, the lady has on several occasions been asked, Chief Justice, no, been asked to rescue herself from cases that involve this very Daniel Ofori. Now, in simple terms, actually say, Ebia, yes, I can say mini or baby penafo. Example, and I break it up, and you break it up, no. Meaning says our bano, our bad blood will between mini elno. And the Abia say, oh, yeah, judge, how about your judge now? Me the master be cockota. My name say, okay, me ex dear. Over cockle so over the assembly. No, oh, she assembly merit, and I say, ni demerit. Okay, and one say because my breaking the hard down, you know, painting, over the assembly tiami. And the Abanusan, what do I do? Metro Mark court, and I say, judicial service almost judge mommy. And that has been the case between this very Daniel Ofori any get to no. And I can say according to sources, you know, from High Court, Court of Appeal, you know, now ni maminu no muka. And Sir Daniel Ofori, according to sources, you know, who say NDC for Babaemo, Sir NDC for Winson, or Mupe Mamina Pamuno, no. And I seizing the chance say, oh, one me proud that I say, masem misu mi mpe wasem. Enya ni juma no. Juma no mami ntimi yo. Ono mo history nti no. Na maka cho say me kira fucking nti. Ebra NPP NDC for we aba. Amenim say, menim pa say omo so omo mpe wasem de. Enye midin ni menim be kira petition. Etiaw. And me just a petition tia on me nim pass e san say NDC for omo mpe wa asem no omo be di asem na mame a be pamo eno ano no ebusanfo eno ano no kire say baby I cause say no yan hwe ya onko for me use a bind to me I did get it to omo ex and I say ex-wife, ex-girlfriend or whatever, ex-business partner and all those things, you know. And yeah, easy. This is a very, very bad precedent that has been said to Charlie. Pass the bind to me by Nyama Kosa Sembi said here. A being see that. This clueless and incompetent Abaya. Like what we are stuck with them for the remaining 3.5 years of this regime. I tell you, and it's a very, very bad place to be in. Very, very bad place to be in. I mean, by now, no. We say many of us have regretted, especially those people who, for one reason or the other, decided that they were thinking they were punishing Akufo-Addo, who was actually done with his 8 years. This is where we find ourselves, where legal power is being used to get at people that we have personal grudges with. The future is a day pregnant.
So Beatrice said
it was in the petition. This was referenced. Yes, but that's the point. If this is referenced in the petition, this is nothing wrong. She's done nothing wrong.
Yes.
So she should not be found guilty on account of this one.
Yes, I'm not sure she was found on the.
But it is in the Daniel Ofori petition.
No, but the Daniel Ofori petition had a number of allegations.
Yes,
and not all those allegations succeeded.
So which allegations did the committee find?
There were three.
There were three.
The per diem,
excluding
the per diem, the transfer. And there was another one in respect of the CJ's recommendation. Those were three.
The recommendation, the one you just read.
Yes, the recommendation. The transfer of one Mr. Badin.
Yes.
And then
that's the staff of the judicial service.
And then the per diem bit.
So these were the three. So this one failed.
Yes,
this
one failed.
Because
but
it didn't feature
it copiously.
No, I'm saying that this.
Okay.
So the point was like
you are trying to show the relationship between the two.
Yeah, and the fact that I think Paul earlier you made a point that it did appear that elements of the exactly. So she was trying to say that Daniel Ofori is known to the lady, and Daniel Ofori could not have been pushed by the NDC to do so. They are the checkered history.
But that may be the reason why Daniel Ofori's application should have been rejected, because it is clear that you and this woman have a fight, and you are trying to take advantage of a certain situation.
Even though he may state other points which may be
but they had three applications before them. So before you examine Daniel Ofori's petition, I would have thought that once you know that there's almost like a personal situation, you do not allow constitutional provisions that are created for all and for longevity, that somebody can use his personal dislike for somebody, apply through a constitutional provision. It has to be very carefully looked at.
So that one failed. The personal one failed.
No, the point is that Daniel Ofori, that's the point that Honorable Beatrice is making, that Daniel Ofori and Gertrude Tokonu are perennially at loggerheads.
No.
If the two of them have been at loggerheads, if they've been at loggerheads in the judicial system, and it's well known that these people are loggerheads, then Daniel Ofori should be precluded from being able to
even though he may raise salient points.
That is why I'm saying that, because it is law, it is a living organism. So we will grant a 10% chance that when a person who has a personal matter with another,
placed on that should have been lower.
It should have been much, much lower, because this is a person who we all know. I didn't know, but I'm finding out from those who know that indeed she and Gertrude Tokonu have been at each other's throat, including making an application to the Supreme Court for Gertrude Tokonu to recuse herself, and the Supreme Court granted it. Not perhaps because they felt that Tokonu was biased, but they also looked at the history from High Court, and they may have found that, well, it's okay. And Madam was agreed with it, and she stepped aside. So the fact that Daniel Ofori is the one raising this issue should give us a bit of...
Are you saying that if I'm at loggerheads with you and you do something that is wrong...
That's what I'm granting 10% to. But we all know how human beings are. So we all know how human beings are. So we all may like to take advantage of power one way or the other. That is why the limitations of power is very, very important. That is why when the Constitution gives a power authority to anyone,
the issue about
they
the
also
DM,
give
raised by Daniel Ofori should not have been treated with a lot
of seriousness, because Daniel Ofori may have a personal interest. Now, whether it's a breach or not, and we are now hearing that during the hearing, witnesses came to testify who all said that this has been happening every now and then. Well, the fact that something has been happening every now and then doesn't mean it's correct. But is it the reason why you remove a Chief Justice? That there's been some sort of breach in her travel policy, or even if she hasn't breached it, that some money that is being looked for around her travel policy, obviously no intention to steal has been found, and that is why we remove a Chief Justice. If that's how we want to do it.
Paul, look at it this way. The Chief Justice in the Abronye case, for example, when the matter of paying salaries and some facilities and giving some privileges to the first ladies, etc., came up, she was quite categorical about it, that Article 71 cannot be expanded to include persons who have not been named. So salaries could include privileges, other facilities. Now, she's quoting from the terms of conditions of service to say that her conditions of service granted this. Meanwhile, she has also said, or knows very well, that the conditions of service could not be placed above, for example, the Constitution, which she has interpreted to say that could not be expanded to include the spouses of the people. How do you reconcile
her conditions of service does not include her spouse benefiting from her travel?
Yes.
It does.
You know what I'm saying?
Is that what she's been accused of?
Yes, but she has said, so benefit for her travels, who pays for the travels, the per diem, etc. These constitute privileges, or you can even say facilities, that will come with the office.
Yeah.
So if she's saying that even the president's wife and vice president's wife, etc., cannot be entitled to those facilities and privileges by extension, why should she
But yes, but that's the point I mean. Are they in the president's condition of service? In the president's condition of service, are we supposed to be paying her wife? If it's part of the condition of service, or are you alleging a conflict between conditions of service and the provisions of the Constitution?
Exactly the point. Because, and she has interpreted that to mean that you cannot expand
so here's
the
a case
ambit
where
of Article 71.
Her conditions of service grants it, but we are discovering that those provisions and the conditions of service run contrary to Article 70 and 71 of the Constitution.
Which she has interpreted.
And then she had occasion to interpret at the Supreme Court, where she said that when this conflict occurs, the Constitution should reign supreme. Is that the point she made at the Supreme Court? That when there's this conflict between.
That's what she said.
Okay, so that these conditions of service.
She was very categorical.
So if that is so, it means that these conditions of service that all chief justices have benefited from. But we are now finding out. We are finding out that it runs counter to Article 71 provisions. And then we are saying that you talk on yourself. You know that already. So when you saw the conditions of service, you should have raised that point and changed the conditions of service so that they will conform to Article 71 and 70 of the Constitution. That's what we're expecting of her, isn't it? That she should have done that. Okay. And for the fact that she didn't do that and that she traveled and she, as it were, through the conditions of service, breached the 1992 Constitution, that is why we are removing her. That's what we're saying, isn't it? Okay.
And the committee said that constituted an assault on the public purse.
Yeah.
Who said that?
The committee.
Oh, the committee said this constitutes an assault on the public. But you agree with that, don't you? Okay, fair enough. I think that's how we want to remove a chief justice appointed under the 1992 Constitution. That's okay.
No, you see, Paul, the challenge is that until she gave that decision, there was this unspoken rule about.
Was it a unanimous decision of the Supreme Court?
It was.
And she was one of the unanimous.
She authored the opinion.
She wrote the lead opinion.
Yes.
Okay,
she wrote the unanimous opinion.
Yeah. So who were the others on the unanimous? Those who agreed.
I forgot.
That's even more interesting. So it was a unanimous decision.
Unanimous decision.
Yes.
Who were the others on the panel?
So let me get them
because that means they all agreed with her.
Yeah. So Poorman was there. So Justice
Poorman was there.
That's
very interesting.
Yeah.
So this is Justice Poorman.
Agree with you. Poorman's argument is that we cannot make laws together. Where you say this and then you say that, oh well, I will not apply the laws I have made to myself. As for me, I'm exempted.
So let me give you the other members of the panel.
So Poorman also has the same conditions of service, doesn't he?
No,
he's not a chief justice.